Today, let's talk about Asian News International, also known as ANI News. Being a huge Indian news agency right in New Delhi that provides news to 50 bureaus in India and South Asia, you would think that this agency would feel the responsibility to uphold morality and deliver truthful news to the millions that it reaches. Unfortunately, that's far from reality. India's media is not running under democratic rules. Let's start with who's controlling this network. The sitting chairman of ANI is Prem Prakash, who said in an article he wrote in 2015 about India's past dark democracy that, quote, India's largest news agency have been subverted and others suppressed by the censors. Prem Prakash was referring to the dark days of India. However, if you look deeper into ANI's reportings, you will discover that not much has really changed in terms of media censorship he was referring to. Although ANI claims to be a politically neutral news outlet, their actions tell a different story. ANI regulates its content around certain political agendas so that they have complete control over what the viewers see. For example, let's take a look at how they have covered stories on Sikhs for Justice and their campaign, Referendum 2020. Although the human rights advocacy group is pursuing to liberate Punjab in a legal and democratic way by holding a referendum, ANI has always given coverage to only those who oppose the organization and its campaign.
This is nothing but an attempt by ISI. No Sikh in India is involved in this.
Even for the massive London Declaration event, ANI only gave coverage to the handful of Indian protesters who had assembled to spur hate against those seeking a separate state of Punjab. Not even one interview was conducted of the global Sikh community that gathered in thousands just a few feet away from the protesters. This does not sound like a democracy to me. It looks more in line with a totalitarian rule where one political party defines a mode of government that disseminates political propaganda in the favor of one ideology. Not only has SFJ been the target, but ANI News is slowly starting to lose its credibility due to the extreme bias they deliver in their reportings, especially about minorities. Let me explain further. Let's start with when they published fake news about a possible Rohingya attack in Nagaland. ANI News published a report that 2,000 Rohingyans were planning an attack on Nagaland based on a WhatsApp message. So much for credibility. The first to call out the story's bluff was a local publication called the Morung Express. The Huffington Post followed to expose ANI, and so did The Logical India. Another news agency that has proved its lack of integrity is none other than PTC News Punjabi. It is the leading regional channel in Punjabi and it is broadcasted worldwide, but it is being controlled by one political party, Shiromani Akali Dal, also known as SAD. The bias in their news have been so obvious that a report was released by the United Kingdom's broadcast regulator Ofcom, which found PTC to be in violation of major broadcast codes. The report pointed out that PTC Punjabi was airing advertisements for the political party Shiromani Akali Dal, even though political advertisings of such nature are banned as per Communications Act 2003 of the UK. PTC was found to be in violation of not just one, but of two codes. The first code they have violated was Rule 9.2, which states that, quote, broadcasters must ensure that editorial content is distinct from advertising. Quote, this rule was broken when they broadcasted advertisements for Shiromani Akali Dal. Besides Rule 9.2, the channel was also under scrutiny for violating Rule 5.5, which demands channels to be impartial on matters of political or industrial controversy and matters relating to current public policy. Why does PTC Punjabi air out so much propaganda in favor of Shiromani Akali Dal? Well, it's obvious. Meet the president of SAD, Sukhbir Badal, who also owns most of the shares of the company that owns and operates PTC. With major shares owned by the president of Shiromani Akali Dal, it cannot be ensured that PTC's reportings are fair and unbiased in any way. While supporting those who fund and operate their channel, PTC also tries to please SAD by attempting to vilify human rights organizations such as Sikhs for Justice.
Sikhs for Justice ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀ ਆਖਿਰ ਹੈ ਕੀ?
Over the years, PTC has gone above and beyond to slander SFJ's referendum 2020 campaign.
Referendum 2020 referendum 2020 ਦਾ
Sikhs for Justice.
They have constantly been making outrageous false accusations about SFJ's fundings with no proof whatsoever. They falsely reported on the intention of the Democratic campaign and showed the truth of their extreme bias while reporting on the London Declaration event. So next time you tune in to ANI or PTC, don't believe everything you hear. Instead, think about the people that are holding the strings to control these networks in order to brainwash the masses to conform to a political agenda.